be happy of the journey because this is the last exercise of chapter 8 with classes. If you have any questions, as always, you can let me know. You can email me, leave them in the comments, whatever. It's been a wild ride with this chapter. Classes, totally love it. Hope you've learned a lot. Now let's do the last problem, which is 8.23 contains other rectangle. We want to add the following method to our rectangle class, which is pretty beefy at this point. And if you've taken all of the code that we've written and you put it in your IDE or whatever, you have an awesome class. It's great. This chapter is awesome, and I hope you learned a lot from it. Anyways, back into this. We want to return whether the given rectangle, which is this one right here, lies entirely within the bounds of the this rectangle. And the this rectangle is the fields and stuff in our current class. So if you want a visualization of it, it looks something like this. We have a rectangle, that's the current rectangle that's in our class, and then we're passed in a new rectangle called rect that's inside of here. Now we want to, this is a boolean, right? So we want to return true if this rectangle is inside of this rectangle, and false otherwise, and it has to be entirely inside of it. So this is pretty simple. Let's make a return statement. We actually only need one line of code for this. In this return, what we're going to say is we want to return true if you look at this, we need this point right here of our rect to be inside of this. So that means this point-wise, x and y, needs to be less than rect. So we want to return if our this dot x, our current this, is less than our rect dot get x. And we want to return if our this dot y, right, because 1x, 1y makes up a single point. So, and this dot y is less than our rect dot get y. So we want to return true if these are true, but we also have to check the width and the height. Remember, the width and the height, it's if we add to our get x and our get y. That's how we get the full value of it. We can try to do it otherwise, and it might not work, or it might, just depending on how the answer is laid out. But let's do it the full way that we've done it previously. So we also want to return, now, if the rect, right, if our rect is now less than, right? So previously rect had to be greater than down here, but to get this point, rect has to be less than this. So and rect dot get x plus rect dot get width is less than our this dot x plus our this dot width. So we want to do these two. What I'm doing here is copying this because it's going to be very similar for the next one. We have to have another and condition, but where we do this for our y. So rect dot get y, and then rect dot get height, and then we're going to have this dot y, and then this dot height. Hopefully that all makes sense. It's a really long line of code, but let's press submit, see what we get. And we passed 1 out of 1 test, so that's good. Let's see if we, inside of here, with our get x and everything, let's see if we can just compare the widths. We might be able to, we might not be able to. In the previous videos, I've always added the this.x with the this.width. So we're just comparing the width here. We'll do that same thing here, where we do rect.getHeight, and then we compare this to the this.height. So let's see if this works. And that also works. So what we've done in the past, it works as well, but this I guess is just a shorter way of doing this. You can always modify the code, modify the class. Hopefully that's helped you understand classes. I really hope, and if it didn't, you can always just message me whenever, and I'll help you out. Hope that helps. On to chapter 9.